Welcome to Sattva Restore, your restorative yoga therapy break. So today we're going to be working with supported bridge pose. So we'll start on our backs, and I'll demonstrate first if you want to watch what we're going to be doing for the hips and pelvis. This is great for balancing out any SI joint issues or low back pain, but we're going to start with a therapeutic warm-up. So I'll demonstrate. And what we'll be doing is when you come down to the floor, sometimes it's a lot for us to be on our backs because we're used to more forward movement in our culture. So you might need just a little bit of a blanket with a single fold behind the bony protrusion on the back of the head, that occipital ridge point. And then once you get comfortable there, I could actually use one too. You'll hear my voice changing, and that's because this is putting a little bit of strain on my neck. And also my ribs are coming up. So that's another sign I look for as a yoga therapist. So we'll ground down through the feet. I don't have a blanket nearby, but you're gonna grab one. And then your arms can come out for stability, and that will help with some of that pressure on the head and neck. And then there's a way to just windshield wiper the legs side to side. Or you can keep your feet down, so you're moving more of you. If you keep your footprint down the whole time, there's going to be more movement in the low back and pelvis. And I can actually feel just a nice little release, like some joint freeing going on back there. Versus this bigger movement, my pelvis is not really moving that much. I'm just twisting from my hips and my stomach. So keep your footprint down. It'll feel like you're doing less. You'll have to think about it more. You're actually moving more of you. So this is our warm up before we come into the supported bridge, the first one. And then we'll move into a little bit of pelvic tilts. So if you've been watching, come down and join me. Get supported on the floor, maybe that blanket behind your head. Relax your shoulders down. And then feet into the floor. You're gonna press down into that footprint and start to shift side to side, but keep your foot down the whole time. So if you want more movement, you have to really dig in to that mind-body connection to create that movement. I like to imagine like I had a little, those games where you put the little balls in the holes, you move them around. So kind of doing that with the pelvis. Can you roll side to side, that little imaginary ball of light, hip to hip. Maybe you'll notice one hip is more connected to the floor than the other. Good. And then coming back to center, feet into the floor, shoulders relax back. Take a little bit of a pelvic tilt. So you're just going to press into your feet enough that you roll the back of the pelvis back. So you'll create a little more flexion, a little more connection to the floor. And then release it down on the exhale. Let your tailbone and sitting bones be heavy. Now you probably have a tiny bit of space in the low back. Pressing into your feet, you'll feel your hamstrings and glutes. And then exhale, relax. And your hands can be on you or by your sides, rolling up. And exhale, relax. The tailbone down, sitting bones down. Now we're going to take that block, that yoga block, press into your feet, use your strong legs to lift your pelvis up just enough to put it at its low height. And you're going to put it in that sacrum bone, that triangle bone at the end of the spine. And then relax there and get into that place where you can be fully relaxed. So you feel this compote shape of the pelvis hollowing out. You can keep your hands there. That reminds these iliacus muscles, these muscles on the front of the hips, to relax and just breathe into it. Or they can come anywhere else alongside of the body or on the body. And then just breathe. This posture is also great for strengthening our immune system. As those shoulders meet the earth, there's marma points, which are like acupressure points, but that's what we call them in Ayurveda, and they strengthen the immune system. You'll notice a slight opening across the chest too, increasing that vitality. So great for the relaxation in the front of the hip muscles. Releasing any tension there. This is great for low back, hips, and then also our immune system. I want to find a nice balanced breath here. Breathing in, you might even count for 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe you feel the balancing relaxation effects of this pose. You stay here. I'm just going to come out and hold space since you probably can't see me if you're laying down practicing. Keeping that nice balanced breath flow. And this pose can be held for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm not going to hold it quite as long today, but if you always ever want to stop the video or come back into it later on, that's why we're doing these, because these will be things you can remember and piece together in your day. Yoga practice doesn't have to be an hour-long practice, and yoga therapy certainly doesn't. So remembering these gems to bring with you, that's your yoga practice at home. So you could stay a little longer, or I'll cue you out of the pose. So your hips are up on the block. You're going to come out the way we came in, bringing your awareness to your feet, pressing down, lifting the hips, and then releasing the block to roll down upper back, mid back, and low back. Good. Stretch the arms up overhead. We'll grab the knees, draw them into the chest, and just feel that little rocking again on the pelvis as the knees come in. As you inhale and exhale, the hands away. And this is our structural breath position. Just take a little rocks. As you exhale, let the knees be heavy. Inhale, draw it in. And then we'll place them on the floor, roll over to the side, and use your strong arms to come up. This has been Sattva Restore, your restorative yoga therapy break. Namaste, everybody.